Okay, I think we can start by now. Is it? Am I audible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Good evening,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am.
Yes.
Good evening, ma'am. A very good evening. A very good evening. So, first of all, what I want to say is that I request everyone to attend this live session. You know, these live sessions are only for you, not for us. We take ourselves and we make ourselves free just for yourself, okay, for you people. And I know you people sometimes we all are very busy, but it motivates us also when we see our students in front of us. Okay, so I request everyone, those who present today, for them, it's really I'm thankful to everyone that you have joined today. And those who have not, I request them that they should also join the webinar, the session. This is for you all. And recording, we can see lots of recording in YouTube. Otherwise, there is no point of going for this session. All right. So next time also when we will have webinars, try to join the webinars because it becomes an interactive session. Otherwise, you just hear the recording. That's all. If you yourself have any question, you cannot put it across. So when you attend the webinar, if you have any doubts or any queries, you can just put it across to the mentors. That becomes easy, right? Okay. So today's webinar is on hyperactive children. So what do you mean by hyperactive? Hyperactive students? What do you mean by hyperactive students?
A student who has very energetic in class, extraordinary student, you can say in activity.
Yeah, they're super active. Okay, so those children.
Who have learning disability.
No, 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 no. Learning disability has no relation with
Super active
hyperactive
student, ma'am.
students. Totally different.
Super
Okay.
active in the class.
Yes, super active. So we all
With
know
high
that.
curiosity levels.
Yes. So we all
Ma'am,
know that.
active in the class.
Yeah.
Active
Okay.
students like.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. So we all know that children of all ages, you will find typically they have lots of energy. That is very common to see children of all ages. They're very energetic. They're very curious. And but sometimes you will find that children or a particular child is excessively energetic. In that case, as a parent or as a teacher, you may wonder different ways or how you will deal with those type of students or those type of children. Those are hyperactive children. Now, hyperactive children are restless. They cannot sit in a place for more than 5 to 10 minutes. They have trouble listening or receiving commands. As a teacher, you are giving them some instruction or direction. They will not be able to receive it properly, or they will have problem in following instructions or directions. Okay, so if you have a hyperactive child, managing a hyperactive child or hyperactive children can be really challenging and a stressful job at times. Do you all agree with me with this?
Yes, ma'am. I
Yes, ma'am.
agree.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if I ask you, I don't know how many of you are teacher out there. So, do hyperactive kids drive you little crazy in the classroom?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
So
Yes.
most
Yes.
teachers
Very much, ma'am.
say
Yes.
yes. Most teacher would say yes. We know that hyperactive students are demanding, but that does not mean you give up on them or you leave them. Of course not.
They also disrespect our
Okay. All right.
activities.
So
That
although okay, let me finish, then I'll ask you. Okay. Now, although a hyperactive child may look unsteady, as I told you, they cannot sit in a place. Okay. They have that problem of concentration because they are with endless energy and they will hop from one activity to the next without completing it. So, as a teacher, as a parent, if you see this, don't uh, don't feel yourself frustrated or something like that. Patience can be considered a major attribute in this case, both as a teacher and parents, as well as teacher and parents while dealing with these children. All right? Hyperactive kids, they simply need more attention. That is the main thing. They simply need more attention. So most children are active by nature, that we know very well. But hyperactive kids are always on the move, okay? Are always on the move, bouncing from one activity to another. So they will have trouble paying attention to what you are teaching them, what instruction you are giving to them. So they have trouble paying attention to lessons. This is specifically, I'm talking about teachers. When you give a lesson, we use traditional teaching methods, come out of it. Try using different types of strategies in the classroom. Clear? Till this much? Am I clear to all of you? Tell me this
Yes,
first.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now you may ask how to identify a hyperactive student. I already told you that these are some of the ways how you can identify that they are very inattentive, they have problem in listening, they have problem in receiving, they have problem in production. So hyperactive student, it is not hard to recognize. Those students who are constantly on the move, bouncing from one task to another, and it makes them tough for complete the task, you will find those children are hyperactive students.
Are
Okay,
hyperactive children and ADHD children are the same?
more or less ADHD, attention deficit, and hyperactive disorder, because those are related. A hyperactive child will definitely not have attention into that level as to a normal child. Okay, so you
True,
can
true.
say ADHD are related. Okay, so a hyperactive child will definitely have attention problem. Now, students who exhibit, that's what I'm coming to, ADHD's hallmark symptoms of inattention. You can see children with inattention in the classroom. They will be inattentive in the classroom. Hyperactive, they'll be very hyperactive, very impulsive. So these type of behaviors can be really frustrating for teachers, for parents as well. Now, you know the brain power is there in those students, but the only problem, they can't seem to focus on the material you are working hard to deliver. They cannot concentrate themselves on that. And that makes a teacher really frustrating to be in the classroom. And sometimes their behaviors take away from the instruction, and it disrupts the whole class. Because as a teacher, you are also getting distracted. Now, the challenge in working with hyperactive children is what? Is to balance their needs with the needs of other students. So in that case, you want to create an optimal learning environment, the classroom, the strategy for the hyperactive student. At the same time, you want to minimize the distraction created by them to your other students. So for this reason, what do you need? That requires considerable structure, support, and consistency in the classroom. It also demands patience. A teacher should have lots of patience to deal, because no doubt a classroom is always heterogeneous. Same level you will never find in a classroom. Some children, they are very naughty, some children, they are very attentive, some are fast learners, slow learner. So overall, a classroom is a heterogeneous classroom. A teacher should have that much of patience to handle everyone. Okay, so it also demands as a teacher that you should have patience and restraint in the face of often difficult and frustrating behavior from the hyperactive students. Clear?
Ma'am, poor planning.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm? Now, students with ADHD, they may demand attention by taking out uh, of turn or moving around in the room. They can do that. They have trouble following instructions, especially when they are presented. Suppose you have given them a list of work and with the steps that needs to be followed to do some particular task. You have given them some steps that needs to be followed. They have problem in that. They have problem in solving long and equations or divisions in maths. They might often forget to write down the homework assessments or to bring a complete homework in the classroom. So these are the ways how you can find out the child is hyperactive. They often lack the fine motor control. They do not have that grip. They are untidy. So, and sometimes which makes the note taking difficult, and handwriting, it becomes tough for teachers or parents to read what they're writing. And whenever you give them a long-term projects, they will never be able to finish it on time. All right. So in group work also, suppose nowadays it's always suggestive that teachers should advise students for a group work, group project work. So in that also they will have problem in completing the work or working with the team. Now children and even teens with ADHD, they often suffer from that also. They pay the price for the problems in low grades. Okay, they get scolding and punishment from teachers at home. They get bullied by their peers. They are teased by their peers for their low self-esteem. So as a teacher, you feel guilty sometimes because you can't reach the child with ADHD, and you wind up taking complaints from parents, from school authorities, from parents who feel their kids are being neglected in the classroom. Now, this is very common because teacher, they need to complete their syllabus. So in some of the cases, they might not be able to give that amount of time to find out who are ADHD and how they're working. So I understand it's a difficult and challenging job, but believe me, it's your responsibility to find out who are ADHD and they need your support. You cannot leave them like that. So there are various strategies you can employ to help students with ADHD and to overcome their learning challenges. So you have to stay focused with them so that the other children should not get distracted by these ADHD students. Clear?
What is the difference between ADHD and autistic?
See, this is totally, autistic is a broad spectrum. The different
Okay.
type of disorders, it falls under autistic. We are today not dealing with autistic. Today, we are not dealing with autistic. Okay, Shweta,
Yeah.
and that will deal it differently. It will just be dealing with hyperactive. You just remember, hyperactive is nothing. They are a little bit super active. That's all. And you have to find out different ways. Yeah, I
No,
think that I
actually,
already.
I have one student like who is very
I'll come, Shweta. I know I'll have lots of queries today.
okay. Okay, fine.
I know I'll have lots of queries today. Don't worry. Okay. 1 minute. Now, see, is the slide visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
If you
Yes.
want,
Yes, ma'am.
if you want, you can just take a screenshot of it, or it will be helpful to you, or just a picture. Because I'm extremely sorry, I don't have any script or something like that, so that I'll be able to share it with you. So I'll not be able to share it with you. So you just
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Please kindly tell the person who is
huh?
unmute. Please
Tell
kindly
me.
tell them to unmute. Please kindly tell them to mute themselves. It's very
Yeah, I
annoying.
request everyone. Yeah, please mute yourself. Everyone, please mute yourself. I'll take every questions of each and everyone. I know we all have hyperactive students. Nivedita, you are presenting something. Please stop presenting. You are presenting
Excuse
something.
me,
Please
ma'am.
stop
Can I
that.
have a say? Ma'am, can you
I'm
be little
requesting
more
Nivedita.
loud? Ma'am, can you be little more loud? Because someone is unmute. Due to that, we cannot hear you
Yeah, I
clearly.
request everyone, please mute yourself, or I'll not be able to continue. I request. I also getting. I'm also getting sound from the background, but as I was speaking, I couldn't stop myself. So I request everyone, please mute yourself. Okay, is the slide visible?
Yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
Oh, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. I think someone
No,
shared the
ma'am.
slide. That's the reason. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute.
Sushmita, ma'am, showing the
I'll
slide.
share 1 second. I'll share 1 second. Please, 1 minute. Please, others don't share anything. Otherwise, this slide will move away. Am I?
It's visible,
Now
ma'am.
it is visible, ma'am.
Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, everyone is speaking. That's why your voice is breaking.
I request everyone, or I'll stop my session. Please mute yourself. Okay. All right. Now for teachers, what teachers can do to help children with ADHD? First thing, lots of energy you also should have. Lots of patience you also should have. Understand it's a challenging job, no matter whether there are hyperactive students in your classroom or not. Teaching job is no doubt a very challenging job. I think everyone, those who are teacher or not teacher, will agree with me. Am I right?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay, now mute yourself. Now, so how do you teach a kid who won't settle down and listen? It's a big question. How do I teach? The answer is with lots of patience. Please mute anyone who unmuted yourself. The answer is please. See, I can hear someone unmuted. So please do that. Mute yourself. The answer is with lots of patience, creativity, and consistency. Remember these three things: lots of patience, creativity, consistency should be in the classroom. As a teacher, your role is to evaluate each child's individual needs and strength and weakness. It's your responsible. Then you can develop strategies that will help students with ADHD to keep them focused, and other normal children also. You might think that I'm talking only about strategies for the ADHD students, but it does not mean the strategies that I'm using for ADHD will not be helpful for normal students. It's nothing like that. So they can then whenever you will have these strategies and you know the individual's needs and strength, you can prepare the strategy and structuring the classroom in that way, and you can keep them on task, and you will be able to make them learn their full capabilities. Okay, so always remember these three things: patience, creativity, and consistency. The slide that I have shared with you, if you want, you can take a picture of that. Now, successful programs for children with ADHD integrate three following components: accommodation, instruction, intervention. If you want, you can just note it down: accommodation, instruction, intervention. What is accommodation? Accommodation, what you can do to make learning easier for students with ADHD. What can I do? I have to accommodate, that is accommodation. So what you can do to make learning easier for students. Don't make things complicated for them. Try to find out different ways of teaching that particular topic in an easier way. There are various ways you can use. The next one is instruction methods. The methods you use in the teaching for that particular topic should be different type of methods. There are audiovisual method, you can show chart papers, flashcards, kinesthetic. Okay, so different type of instruction you can use for them. Now this instruction will not only be effective for the ADHD but absolutely for the normal children also. Intervention, how you head off behaviors that distract or disrupt concentration or distract other students. You should know this is the way, this is the time I have to intervene. Now, for all activities of ADHD, because we know they are a little bit hyperactive students, they will not pay attention like other students, but for every activity, if you scold them, it will be ineffective. So for mild errors, just overlook it. You should know when you should intervene. That is very important. So these are the successful ways and programs for children with ADHD. Am I clear? What you can do?
मैम प्लीज इसे एक बार फिर से समझा दें इंटरवेंशन को ठीक से समझ नहीं आया.
Intervention means when I will enter the scenario. Suppose a child is disrupting the class or doing something which he is not supposed to do. At that time, you should intervene. You should stop.
Okay, ma'am.
That is called intervention. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
So these are the ways how you can or strategy you can use in the classroom. Teachers, they should have lots of creativity within themselves. If they do not have, then it will never be an effective classroom and the students, they're not going to enjoy you. What you need? I need a classroom with students who will love me. Do you need like that class? Or when you will enter the class, students will not like you because you are very strict or something like. Nowadays, it doesn't happen, Nowadays, it doesn't happen. It has to be very interactive classroom. The only thing, hyperactive students, they need your attention. When they will get your attention with strategy, with technique, and with your, you should know how to evaluate them, and you will be definitely a successful in handling them.
Okay.
These are tools and strategies. If you want, take a picture. So these are tools and strategies you can use in your classroom. Now, your most effective tool, however, in helping a student with ADHD is your positive attitude. Here is your positive. Oh, you can't do this. This will not happen. You cannot do this. You are worthless. Never. This is not only for ADHD, but for no one. All children, they learn as per to their own capability and pace. So you should have a positive attitude always. Make the student your partner. How? By saying, let's figure out ways together to help you get your work done. So let's work together. So you are having any problem, you are facing doubts in it, or you can't handle the work. So let us figure it out together. So assure the student that you will be looking for good behavior and quality work. You have to make sure that he or she cannot do anything. Any work will not be acceptable. You have to make it sure. We will work together, but your work and your behavior should be quality work and you should have a good behavior. And always try to praise them, appreciate them, no matter how small the work is. Positive reinforcement is very important, and it should be done immediately and with sincere praise. Mind the word sincere praise, not for any type of work. All right. Finally, look for ways. There are different type of ways you have to find to motivate a student with ADHD. That is the way by offering them reward on a point, or emojis, or some token system. Okay, so these are different ways how you can motivate. Now, as I said, we become motivated when I see that there are so many students who are attending my session. Am I right? If I see only few number of students attending my session, will I be motivated to take the session? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. No,
Same
ma'am.
way, as a teacher, you have to motivate your students. Clear?
Yes.
Am I
Yes,
too
ma'am.
fast? No? Am I too fast?
No, ma'am.
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Ma'am, if a teacher want
Yes,
to
I'm
motivate
able
the
to.
student,
I'm understanding.
then ma'am, teacher can
Can
give a
you
reward or prize in kind
can
of.
you can you finish it? Because can we finish it and later on can we take your
Okay.
queries if you don't mind? Can you do that?
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
All right. So I request everyone mute yourself and note down your queries. I'll definitely take them after the session. Now, how to deal with disruptive classroom behavior? Okay, how would you deal? Now, dealing with disruptive or to head off behavior that takes time from other students. Work out a couple of warning signals. Okay, with student who has ADHD, start it with ADHD. This can be what type of signal you can use, a hand signal, all right, body gesture, we call it hand signal, unobtrusive shoulder squeeze, or a sticky note on the student's desk. These are the ways how you can head off the behavior that takes time from other students, because ADHD students, they are disturbing. I request everyone, please mute yourself or I will stop. Who's making that noise? Shoma Jana, please mute yourself. Thank you. Okay, so this can be what I said. You can show them a hand signal, or you can eye contact, warning signals with unobtrusive shoulder squeeze, or a sticky note you can put in the, without talking, without disturbing other students, without stopping your explanation. You just put a note on the student's desk. Okay. Now, if you really have to discuss something with any particular child in the classroom, here I'll say not only for ADHD, but for normal student also. If you want to say something about the student's behavior, always do it in private. It will work. It will be effective. Otherwise, not. And again, try to ignore mildly inappropriate behavior done by the students if it's unintentional and it isn't distracting other students or disrupting the class. Mildly inappropriate behavior, again, I'm pointing out. So you have to find out. Okay. Now, how would you accommodate your classroom for students with ADHD? Now, as a teacher, you can make changes in the classroom. You can make changes in the classroom to help minimize the distractions and disruptions of ADHD students. How it can be done? Seating arrangements. So sit the student with ADHD away from the windows. Every time their head will be turned that side only. So you make the student sit away from the windows and away from the door. They will see like that who is passing out. It's very common. Have you ever noticed any children doing that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Many times.
Yeah.
Even regular students also
Yes,
sometimes
yes,
they will
yes.
do.
That's why I'm saying whenever I'm saying something about ADHD, I'm bringing the normal student also, because this is common thing for children. Okay. Now put the children or put that particular student with ADHD right in front of your desk. Okay, right in front. Try to put them. Now, don't think that there will be lots of ADHD student in the classroom. I'm sure many of you are worrying there will be so many students, how to handle them. There will not be. Hardly
Yes.
one. Okay, hardly one or two. So definitely it's not a very big task for you all. So always try to put the ADHD student right in front of your desk. And there are different type of arrangements we can see in the classroom, but always sit in rows. Okay, and focus should be on the teacher. That works much better instead of having seated around the tables or facing one another in other arrangements. Okay, many schools they do also have, but usually they have benches and in rows. So always try to use that strategy and create a quiet area of distractions when you are going to take some test, and when you will be giving them for a quiet study. All right, so this is the way how you can make the seating arrangement of students, both with ADHD. Your focus is on ADHD, with that you are helping the normal students also. How would you deliver information? Now, as I said, your focus today, our focus is on ADHD, so I'm stressing more on ADHD. That it doesn't mean it is not going to help the normal students also. So whenever you give instructions, give one at a time and repeat as necessary. Okay. Minal Parekh, could you please mute yourself? Thank you. Okay, so whenever you want to, you have to give some instruction regarding the topic or any information. Try to give one at a time and repeat as necessary. And if possible, suppose today I'm going to teach something, a topic which is a little bit difficult, or in that particular topic some area that is a little bit difficult. So if possible, work on the most difficult material early in the day. And the TLM, the teaching learning materials that you are going to use visuals, charts, pictures, color coding. Different type of TLM should be used, not only traditional. This is again not only for ADHD but for normal students also. Clear? For students work, maybe students a worksheet. Create worksheet and tests with fewer items. Do not give tests or worksheets. Do not give them exercises, so many type of exercises. It should be short and frequent. Try to take tests very frequently. And it should be short quizzes rather than long tests. The concept should be made clear by you. That is your focus. What am I teaching to them should be comprehended by them. They should understand. Doesn't mean that they should know how to write a long answer. That is not effective, and that will really not work it out. They will just learn it by heart or rote memory without understanding the content or concept of it. Just take frequent tests and with short quizzes instead of giving the long test. And test students with ADHD in the way they do best, because I already told you before, try to evaluate their strength. So when you will evaluate their strength, you know that because children, they learn, some children, they learn by observation. Some children, they learn by hearing. Some children, they learn by doing the things. That's called kinesthetic, auditory. Okay, and by seeing the thing, that means maybe it can be projects, you can show them some chart papers or flashcards or videos. Okay, so you should understand that these are students, or this is a particular child who understand better by listening. So you have to use different type of teaching learning materials in the classroom. So test students with ADHD in the way they do best, such as orally or fill in the blanks or 1 or 2 line questions. So these are the ways you can use. Whenever you need to give any long-term projects, nowadays there are project-based learning where they need to work on long projects. So whenever there will be long projects, divide that long-term projects into segments, parts, and assign a completion goal for each segment. Clear? Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Make them
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Make them to do the things in an organized way. That's called organization. Make them, because as I told, they are very, they cannot keep themselves concentrated in a place for a long time. Their work definitely will be not tidy. Okay. It will be untidy. They will not be organized with their works, with their copies, with their pencils, with their books. They will not. You have to teach them. Okay. Now, as a teacher for ADHD, what you have to do, have a student. Always ask a student to keep a master binder, binder books, and with a separate section for each subject. For students, you have to make it a binder that these are the separate section for each subject, and make sure everything goes into the notebook and in the correct section. That is the way how you can keep things organized. Now, provide a pocket notebook, insert homeworks, assignments, completed homework of the child, and mail to the parents. Okay, so you have to keep in touch with the parents. That is very important. You have to keep a record of the ADHD students. As I said, parents, they feel that their children are being neglected in the classroom. Just to avoid that, you should be organized as a teacher and also make the students do that. Make sure the student has a system for writing down assignments and important dates and facts. They should know how to write it. Make the students more organized. Yeah. Now, teaching techniques for students with ADHD. Teaching techniques that help students with ADHD focus and maintain their concentration on your lesson and their work, what they are doing. So you have to use different teaching techniques, because these teaching techniques will help the students of ADHD to keep themselves focused and to maintain their concentration in the classroom and to your lesson, to your topic, what you are teaching. That is not only will be beneficial for ADHD students as well for the normal students. When you are going to start the lesson in the classroom, okay, I'm saying, suppose I'm a teacher, I'm going to the class, and this is how I'm going to start my lesson today. Start the lesson with a timer, okay, with the timer. And they should know what they're going to learn. Be very specific. They should know what they're going to learn today. Establish eye contact with any student who has ADHD. That is very important. They should know that I'm already in contact with the teacher. List the activities of that particular lesson on the board. In opening the lesson, the beginning of the lesson, tell your students what they're going to learn today and what is your expectations from them, what they are supposed to do. And tell students exactly what materials they will need. In this topic, I'm going to use these other teaching learning materials that I'm going to use in the class today for this particular topic. This is how we are going to start the class. Conducting the lesson. Keep instructions simple. As I said earlier, always, this is not only, always use easy jargon. Don't use complicated and very difficult words or vocabs. That doesn't mean that they will understand very well or very fast. Whenever you give instruction, always use easy jargon. All right. Now keep instruction very simple and in a structured way. Use props, charts, or any other visual aids or anything that is auditory if the school has that availability, resources. Many school they might not have. So in that case, you have to find out other ways. Suppose if the school doesn't have any recorders or many school they have smart boards now, you can use those, but many school they don't have even. So in that case, you have to use props or chart papers, flashcards, okay? You have to work hard. Now, you have to include different kinds of activities for different students. Now, many students with ADHD, they will really do well with competitive games or other activities that are very rapid and intense because they are very highly energetic. So any activity you can give. So you have to find out that what activity I can give for these students based on this particular topic. So that can be a part of those particular activity from that particular topic. Okay. Now you have to always keep it in mind that these are my ADHD student, and what I have to do. Suppose they're doing some activities, so you always need to move around, and you have to touch on the shoulder or placing a sticky note again on the student's desk, just to remind the student to stay on task, because they will get distracted very easily. And you have to keep it in mind that you have to move around. Now, as I said, ADHD children cannot or not be able to sit in a place for more than 5, 10, 15 minutes. 15 minutes is much more, so not even 10 minutes even. So allow those students with ADHD to have frequent breaks and let them to squeeze a rubber ball, okay, to stimulate and or tap something that makes a noise as a physical outlet. They need the energy to come out. I know it's tough and challenging, but these are ways you have to use in the classroom. Never try to ask a student with ADHD to perform a task or answer a question publicly that might be too difficult. I'm again stressing the word difficult. Okay, so if you think this answer or question is a little bit difficult, don't ask them. They will have a low esteem in that particular case. They already know that they are being teased, they are getting scolding, they're a little bit different from the other students. So you cannot and you should not ask any question that are a little bit difficult for them. Okay, now how would you end the lesson? Summarize the key points that you have already explained to them. If you give an assignment, have 3 different students to repeat it. And later on, as a whole, it's an unison. They should then have the class say it in unison and put the key points on the board. Clear? So this is how you can end the lesson. Is it clear?
Ma'am, voice is breaking.
My voice is breaking. Is it?
No, ma'am.
Can we take a break of 1 minute?
No, ma'am.
No?
Ma'am, the voice is not breaking.
I can take a break of 1 minute.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
you can.
Yes,
Sure.
ma'am.
I'll just
Yes,
have
ma'am.
a glass of water and I'll come. Okay? I'll just have a glass of water and I'll come. Thank you.
Sure, ma'am.
Ma'am, now your video is off. Sushmita ma'am, where are you?
Ma'am went on a break. Please wait.
I think she's rejoined.
Okay, thank you so much for waiting. I'm back. So as I said that you have to deal in various ways with the ADHD kids, you have to introduce different strategies that will engage hyperactive students on their own level. That is also a part of your responsibility, how to keep them engaged. Okay, how to keep them engaged. Now, encourage hands-on learning, kinesthetic. Hyperactive students, they learn best when they are engaged in any particular process. Who is there who is making the noise? Ashfia, Ashraf, could you please mute yourself? Thank you. Okay. So hyperactive students, they learn best when they...
Low voice, ma'am. No, there is no clarity. Low voice, ma'am. Raise your voice.
I am raising my voice. Others, they are having an issue with my voice.
No ma'am.
No, ma'am. Your
Clear
voice
now.
is
No,
clear.
ma'am. No.
No,
You are
ma'am.
having problem. I
Your
think you are
it's
having
clear. It's clear,
problem.
ma'am.
No, ma'am.
It's clear.
Okay, fine. Thank you. Mute yourself. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. I was saying.
Ma'am, volume is low.
No, my volume is absolutely fine. I think your volume is low out.
Ma'am, we have, I think, network issues.
Yeah, because from my end, I think I am at the loud point of my
Yes,
voice.
ma'am.
Okay,
Ma'am,
so
your
now
voice is
hyperactive
loud.
students, please request everyone to mute. Hyperactive students, they learn best when they are engaged in the process. You cannot expect them to sit calmly at their desk, listen to the lecture, and take a test. No, that's too challenging for them to do because they cannot sit in a place. They have problem in doing that. You know that. Now, doing is always better than listening. That is not only for ADHD, but for all normal students. They learn it and they can retain that particular thing, what they're doing, much more longer in their memory. When I do the thing myself with my hands, that's not a hands-on learning. So doing is always better than listening. So you can transform their doing into a learning activity. Have them to draw illustration for a book that's part of the curriculum. That's a good way of teaching. Again, not only for ADHD, but for all normal students. Teachers, they often advise the parents to do hands-on activity with their children at home. Okay, so that is very important thing that teachers, they should advise they should have a meeting more frequently with ADHD kids, and they should ask the parents to do hands-on activities with their students at home. Allow them allow them to move. Don't force them to sit in a place. Who is there? Please, who is there? Jyoti, please mute yourself. Hyperactive children, by definition, you know the hyperactive children, and they have trouble staying in a place for a long period of time. Now, it's a torture for them to stay at their desk for a long time. So allow them to move. These students are kinesthetic learners. They have problem in listening. So give them something to do. You will see they will be enjoying doing that. It's not a bad thing that they are not listening. They will definitely do, but give them the thing to do. So,
So all the ADHD learner is a kinesthetic learner?
1 minute, 1 minute. Let me finish. I'll come back.
Yeah, sure.
So it's an opportunity for you as a teacher to introduce different fresh methods into your educational routines that address that learning style. All right, so you have to find out what ways or how I can give activity to those ADHD children for that particular topic. You have to find out, you have to work on it. It's not like traditional method, okay, only the formal authority of the teachers going to the classroom, giving lecture, coming out, that's all. No, nowadays things are changing and you have to change. You have to change. It's your responsibility just not only to take care of the talented students, but students who are ADHD, who are slow learners. So you have to take care of them and you have to find out different methods, strategies, ways. In that way only we'll be able to find out different fresh methods into your educational routines that will involve a different type of learning styles. Yes, who was saying, I'm sorry to interrupt, who was there? Who was saying something?
Yeah, it's me, Shweta. I was asking ki all the ADHD child is a kinesthetic learner only?
Yes, maximum. I can say all because ADHD children they will not have they will not take interest in listening as you all are listening.
Yeah, that I have observed. Yeah,
they will not enjoy listening. They will not like listening. You give them some puzzle to be sorted out or something to be done, some experiments. They will enjoy doing that. So try that.
Yes. That I have seen. That's the reason I have asked you. All the kids are like that. All the ADHD.
Yeah, maximum, because they have attention deficit problem. With that, they are also having hyperactivity disorder. That means they're very high. Their activities are very hyper.
Okay.
Okay. I'll come. Let me finish this and I'll come. Okay. Now, suppose you want to teach a history class, okay, history lesson to your students. Now, the history itself is very boring. We all know that. Now, when teaching a history lesson, turn into an acting project. Give each student a role, include normal as well as ADHD student. Give them a role to play and act out scenes from that particular topic. You can be a narrator, okay? You can be a narrator and introducing dates and facts into the drama. It will be much easier for them to remember the dates, the information, when they learn it through active play. All right? Active play. So they are becoming part of that particular topic of history. So they will remember what had happened. Suppose a battle of Panipat or something like that, or whatever it is, whatever might be. So try to have a drama in the classroom. You can be a narrator. These are different strategies that I'm using. You can use your own. Clear? Now, if you want to ask something to those particular students, gently toss a ball. Okay, you can have some balls, so you can toss a ball to the student. So instead of just addressing them by her name, that is again applicable for normal student also. These are the ways how you can keep the class motivated, interacting. It's a simple activity and which will add fun into the discussion as well. Clear? So after taking class for some time, maybe half an hour, maybe they have sat in the classroom on that desk for a half an hour, you reward your students. Okay, you can give them some reward because they have been to their chair, to their desk for 15 minutes. If you see, you can give them some reward. It can be any reward. Okay, it can be any reward. So this is how you can motivate them. Now, teach them to be useful. Hyperactive children want and need to move around. Now, as they're moving around, you have to find out uselessly they should not move around. Okay, let them do something that is useful. So channel that need into a useful activity. Cleaning, to be more precise, if I can say. In when I was a student, we used to clean our classroom, and that we used to do row wise. You also did the same? Anyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
row wise, we have to
Yes,
broom the
ma'am.
classroom, we have to close the windows, and we have to clean the blackboard. So these are part of our we used to do when we were in school. So the same thing you also did when you were in school.
Yes, ma'am. In fifth
So
standard, I guess.
yeah, so with them also you can use this. So channel that need into a useful activity. So cleaning can be a very useful way. So encourage your students to be responsible for cleaning the classroom. Teach them that it's a normal part of their school day. Okay. So after the school gets over, they should clean the classroom.
Ma'am, may I say something
Yeah,
which I
sure.
have tried one?
Sure. Tell me.
Like giving a responsibility in the class to such children as like collecting the homework of their rows, or
Yes.
like listing up the the activities if the teacher has supposing asked them to do one day prior. Like if the children they do those activities, they get involved also and they feel very happy, and
Yeah,
like
these
they are able to
are
respond well.
yeah,
So
absolutely. No, because they need your attention, and when they know that my teacher is taking care, so definitely they will show the same response, and they'll be responsive also.
and we keep
So
small motivation happy faces kind of things in
yes,
the
yes,
classroom,
absolutely,
and we
absolutely.
give them that when they do something good, even a little bit of task if the child has done,
Yeah,
we give
yeah,
them
it's about
something.
creativity. You can use various types of ways to support the ADHD students. Okay, all right.
Ma'am,
Yes, tell me.
ma'am, actually, this hyperactive children, they are not sitting calmly, right? Like
I
they
know this. They will not sit.
simply,
We all know this. They will not sit, no? And this is the reason what I
yeah,
different
they will not
strategies.
sit, they will not listen us. They simply running. How
Ah,
can we keep them
yeah, that's
sitting?
what. Now these are the ways how I have been telling you from 6 p.m. I think. Am I?
Yeah,
What you need to
but
do?
yeah, that I understand. But I am so many. I know one of our family friend, child. He's coming our home like for playing, but he is not listening us. If we
Yeah,
are
let
asking
them
him
move. Let
something,
them
he will
move.
not
This is
tell.
the anesthetic work. Let them move. Let them move. It does. You cannot stop them. You cannot stop them. They will not
Mm,
listen. They will not listen. So we have to find out strategies. The one that I have already explained to you, and these are some tools and strategies that you can use in the classroom. You can give them kinesthetic work to be done based on the topic. Outside the topic, also you can do.
mm.
Ma'am, how to manage like in the classroom
Okay,
like
I have
normal?
few points to just discuss. Let me just do that, and I'll come to you. Okay. Okay. Now, let me share this right. How parents can help ADHD kids? I think we all know should have this information with us. How parents can deal with ADHD kids. These are tips for parents. Now, there are many things parents of kids with hyperactivity can do to help their children succeed at school and at home, including providing positive feedback, visual reminders, giving support to them, loving guidance. So these are different types of positive activities or attitudes you can show to your hyperactive kids to make them successful in class. Okay, the suggestions that we have just discussed above. So many of the above suggestions that we have just discussed can be useful at home even, such as encouraging your child to take movement breaks between activities is one of them. Don't ask them, you have to complete it unless and until you will not be able to uh, go from this place. Never do that. Let them take some time, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, do the activities, give them a break for 5 minutes, but keep it in mind they should do their work in a proper way, in a neat way, and they should keep the thing in an organized way. Make them very clear with that. Okay? Make them very clear with that. Now, recognizing that hyperactivity is not the same as willful misbehavior can also help parents respond to their child with patience and empathy. That is very important. As a teacher, we all need to be empathetic. We all need to be. Suppose a normal child, you can see in the classroom, she is not behaving properly. Do not scold that child. Go near to the child, find out the reason why the child is behaving in that way. That is empathetic. So you have to be empathetic. You have to have patience. You should always have positive attitudes. So many children with hyperactivity, they simply need to move their bodies. And it should be frequently, because they have trouble in holding or keeping themselves fixed in a place for a long period of time. Clear? Note, as a teacher and as a parent, note that structure combined with flexibility as needed is often beneficial for keeping the ADHD students on track. It has to be very structured and organized way you have to handle the ADHD kids. And one more thing, parents and teachers, they should aim to foster an open dialogue to help determine which strategies work best to support the child and ensure that their needs are being met. This is very important. Parents and teachers, they should work together. They should have an open dialogue. These are the strategies we can use in the classroom, or these are the strategies you can use at home. Okay. Now, also, if a child's hyperactivity is above normal, which you cannot handle, or it is interfering with their day-to-day life, they're having problem, parents should talk in that scenario to their pediatrician or to a doctor. In this case, the child might get benefited. The child might get benefited from screening for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So much. Namrata, could you please mute yourself?
Okay.
So when you see, both as a teacher and the parent, that it's really challenging, or you cannot handle, or the child is above the normal hyperactivity, you have to talk with the doctor or the pediatrician. So the child might benefit in that scenario or case for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So if they have ADHD, treatments may include medication, talk therapy, or other support measures, but not for all. I'm not talking this that everyone should need to go. Only few who are really tough and challenging, who are above the normal. Okay. Now, remember that all children want to do well. It's not that children, they don't want to do well. All children love to get full marks, or they like to get appreciated by their teachers. This is quite normal. Some children can be naughty, some children can be hyperactive, but it does not mean they do not want to do well in the class, and even at home. So it can be very challenging for kids to stifle hyperactivity. Okay, it's very challenging for everyone. So aim to react to this behavior of those particular children calmly and with understanding. I'm talking this for both teachers and parents. Additionally, provide a supportive environment for them. Okay, so allow them to move in the classroom. Allow them. It's also important to keep it in mind that if basic interventions and supports do not help the child, again, it's worth speaking with a healthcare provider or professional. That is at the end when things are really not working. In that case, otherwise not. Okay, I'm done.
Ma'am, allow them to moving in class can create a disturbance also.
Yes, tell me.
Yes, ma'am. Allow them students in a class can create disturbance also in the class, ma'am. Other student can also disturb if they are moving here and there in the class.
And you are for what? You cannot sit in your place in that scenario. You have to keep
Yes,
an eye
ma'am.
what they are doing. They should not disturb others. They cannot disturb others. And again, I say, if it is really mild or it's not disturbing in that way, then it's absolutely fine. Because we know they are ADHD. They cannot see it. So after giving them some time, maybe 5-10 minutes, they will do the task and let them move for 1 to 2 minutes. That's nothing. In 1 to 2 minutes, nothing is going to change, and other students they will not get disturbed. It's your responsibility. You cannot blame that, or you cannot say that no, this is not my job.
Okay, ma'am.
To keep it an eye for both the ADHD students as well as the normal students, because as you are taking care of the ADHD students, it's a part of your job to take care of the other normal students as well.
Yes, ma'am. One more question, ma'am. Ma'am, if this suppose that if the strength of the class is 21, 51, near more than 51, and from the first to 8th period, the class
Your
teacher
class,
can take the
your
class
class
teacher.
you have students, 51 students in one
Yes,
section.
yes, ma'am.
That should not be. First of all, I will
Yes,
say.
ma'am.
The strength of
And
the student should be 28, maximum to
yes,
35.
ma'am.
That is also not acceptable.
Yes, ma'am.
Myself,
One
class
I'm
also strength is 51, ma'am.
and also I'm a class teacher, ma'am, and I don't know which period is suitable for the PT period, playground period, game period, and smart board. Ma'am, I am very upset these days.
Don't get upset. You are not going to help anyone if you get upset. Okay?
Ma'am, if I can go with the playground in the second period, they will create disturbance
No,
full day in the class.
don't go to the playground second period. Okay? Don't go to the
Yes,
playground.
ma'am.
Maybe you can do it in the fifth period. You need to
Yes,
set the
ma'am.
timetable for the timetable for the students. Do you need to set it?
Yes,
The
ma'am. I said yes,
classes.
ma'am. But yes, ma'am. UKG,
You
ma'am.
can do in the fifth period or second last or in the last period.
Okay, ma'am. And smart board, if I use in the last period, they are very happy.
See, smart board is nothing. Smart board is a board that is in the classroom. Now, smart board you can use for all the periods. Okay, for all the topics
Okay, ma'am.
you can use smart
No,
board.
for music only. PT,
Oh,
PT in the first period, for music in the last period.
if you have music in the last period, then if you need to use a smart board, I don't know whether why you will need to use a smart board in music class. I really have no idea. But if you need to do so, then you'll be using it maybe in the.
Ma'am, for dance activity, na? They work together.
Okay. Maybe you can do in the middle of that, no? When they will maybe
Yes, ma'am.
fifth period or third period, when they will be having the regular classes, and the middle, if they have the art activity, they can feel themselves relaxed.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Ma'am, I have one question, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I'm working as a special educator in inclusive setup. So, in our school, in one classroom has one child like ADHD, ma'am. But their parents assist, and they are not giving the proper therapies and all. Nothing they are giving. But in classrooms, he's he's not sitting in one place. He's roaming always. All the teachers are complaining only. As a special educator, I'm the only special educator in that inclusive setup. I have to go all the classes, but I didn't have time to spend with that boy. For that time, what I will do to guide the teacher, ma'am?
You don't have time to spend with that. You are a special educator, and you are saying you don't have time to spend with that particular kid.
Why? Why? Because, ma'am, in first standard to 12th standard, each class having differently able children, ma'am. For every day, they are not giving proper time to manage that child. Maybe they have the boy has class on that time. That maybe it's changed according to that.
See, sometimes it depends on the severity of the case. Okay, if you think the child is able, why am I getting? If you think that the child is
Ma'am, your voice is broken, ma'am.
I am having a problem. I'm having echo. Just a minute. Hello? Hello? Is it fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, now
Clear
it's
now,
better.
ma'am.
Okay. So mute yourself. Others, please mute yourself. I was talking with Mari. To whom I was talking to?
Mari Selvi, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if the case is moderate, okay, if mild, and if the child is able to stay with the regular students, so maybe he or she will be spending in the regular class only. Otherwise, the child can go for a session with the special educator for a particular period of time, not for the whole duration of the class.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's not possible there.
It's not possible for what?
For the whole day. Only one period, or sometime only they will send him to me.
Your institute, they will know how to deal with it. Okay,
But the teachers don't aware about that boy's condition.
You are worried about the boy's condition.
The ADHD, they don't know about that boy whether he is having problem or not.
So you talk with the parent.
Yes, ma'am.
As a special educator, you talk with the parent.
Yeah, I talked with the boys' parents, ma'am, but they are not cooperative.
They have to be cooperative because whatever is possible from your end to be done.
Ma'am, your voice is echoing. Your voice is echoing.
Hello? Is it fine now?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah, as a special educator, let me just answer Mama's query. So, as a special educator, again it's echoing.
Yeah, it's echoing,
It's
ma'am.
happening when
Ma'am, if Mari mute herself, we can hear you correctly.
Yeah.
I think my laptop is not ready to hear my voice anymore.
Ma'am, Mari has to mute herself.
Speaking and Mary's voice is audible.
Is it fine? I think Mari.
I muted myself.
Okay, fine. So I was telling, as a special educator, you know how much you can go. Okay? What is your responsibility? Till that much you can move ahead. Behind that or before that or after that, you cannot. So in that scenario, talk to the institution head, principal, teachers, and ask for a parents-teacher meeting.
Thank you.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
We have a child in the junior KG, a 4+ child. The school is Montessori. The child likes to work with all different kinds of material that is there, but the moment there is a group lesson, when the teacher is explaining something with some material, the child doesn't want to sit and he starts crying at the top of the voice. He doesn't sit at one place and disturbs the entire class. In that case, what are we supposed to do?
Which class the child is in Montessori?
He in junior KG, yeah. Lower KG, you mean to say?
So
4+.
The child is calm and cool when he will handle.
When he only likes to work on his own. The way, he's a very whimsical kind of a child. Absolutely. Who only wants to sit with his own material. He doesn't want to work in groups. He doesn't want to sit what the teacher says. He doesn't want
Yeah,
to
many
listen to
children
those
you'll find.
instructions.
It's not something which you need to really very upset about it. That particular child, every children
So,
they learn according to their own pace, okay?
right, so like
Don't
supposing if he has
blame
to do
that.
tracing of letters, or like if he has to learn the language, or like he doesn't sit only at in a group, so how would he learn in that case?
You mean to say group means in a school they are sitting in benches or desks or
No,
chairs?
they have small chowkis kind of, sit in groups, of
Absolutely
say
fine. That is
12 or
absolutely
15
fine.
children together.
That is absolutely fine. He or
Uh,
she will learn not today, tomorrow, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Let the child work alone. All children might not like to work in groups.
yeah, so like if he lags behind in this, like what we are teaching in the classroom, how are we supposed to
What are you teaching
manage?
in the classroom now?
Like, see, if it is a creative material, he does it well. Okay, but the moment when we give him any language material, say like tracing on sand cards or something like that, he doesn't want to do that. He only
Never
wants to
he does.
garland the
He
beads.
never does that.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Never.
He doesn't. No, he has not learned till now, from April till now. The moment you give him threading the beads, or you give him pyramids or pegboards or something, he's fine with it. The moment you ask him to do anything which is academically there, with all different activities that we do in the classroom, he doesn't sit at all.
You ask his or her parent to buy those activities if possible, or not even. So these are things which is available at home also we can use. So you ask the parents to use those kind of things at home with the child, that to make the
Okay.
child familiar with it before he
Okay.
works, or before you work with the child in the classroom. Talk with the parent and ask the parent to do the same thing at home with the child.
All right. Okay.
That
That
will
will
be.
try then. Right.
Ma'am,
Right.
I have a question.
And one more question, ma'am. This is not related to the student, but like I have missed 2 sessions, the past 2 sessions in between. So how will I get the
You will
one
not
was
get.
on the, sorry?
My session I will not share. I again told you these sessions are for you all. We are taking our time. We are preparing everything. We
Ma'am,
want you all.
it was not deliberately missed. It was because of some reason which
Okay, so us
huh.
our videos will get uploaded in the our YouTube channel, so you will be able
Yes, because
to.
I want to go through those sessions, but it was just because of some medical problems I had missed it.
Okay, no problem. So I would like to have all of you together to have the session, not only with
Ma'am,
other tutors also, but with other tutors also. But yes, of course, those who unintentionally they need to switch off from the session, please go to our YouTube channel. It will be uploaded sooner or later.
Ma'am,
yes, ma'am. Actually, I have a question. Like
ma'am,
in ADHD, what happened? Like some kids is having a aggressively like na hitting or biting habits. So how to control that in the class?
Yeah, that's what I told you. Na, to they need to stimulate themselves. They need something so that the energy comes out. So give them
Uh-huh.
a ball to squeeze.
Okay,
Ma'am,
but he's very small. He's like na just 2.5 year. So will he do that?
212. Yeah, why not? Can't he squeeze a ball?
No, he will squeeze the ball, but when you will instruct, maybe not at that time.
You try
And you
and
know,
see, you try and see, and you ask him to help you or to sit nearby you. Okay, you talk to him, and you make the work done by allowing him to sit nearby you.
and ma'am, he is not speaking also. He is not
Okay.
saying anything.
Some
He's having.
children they take time to speak. You cannot force. Speak,
Uh,
speak, speak. They will not speak.
no, no, no. It's not about that. Means he has not at all uttered a single word so far. Like it's been only 1.5 month, but I have not heard her voice also. So how to deal here?
How long he has been in your institution or in your school?
Just 1.5 month.
Have time. Have patience. I already discussed you. Have patience.
Yes. No, no, no. It's just started. I just want to
At
work
your
on
first,
him.
see, if you really think that the child is not uttering or the child is not mixing up with other kids or children, so definitely maybe there is some issue. You talk with, sometimes, children, all children, they are different.
Yes,
No?
yes.
So if you really think like that, you talk to him or her and you see whether the child is talking to you or not, away from the subject matter. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you talk with the parent that whether the child is talking at home or any problem in speech therapy or something like that. So you'll be able to
Mm-hmm.
understand actually if you have a discussion with the parent.
Okay. And one more question here, like, do we need to separate the child who is hyperactive? Do we have to make us no, no? Okay. Thank you.
That's the only seating arrangement I told you, no? Don't
Yes,
make them
first line,
feel,
huh?
don't make them feel that they are a little bit different. Don't make them feel.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know these are ADHD kids, so you
Yeah.
make them sit in front, okay, in front of,
Yes, yes.
and you know how what are the strategies I have just discussed. You
Yes,
follow
yes,
the
yes.
strategy
I agree.
creativity. That is always welcome.
Ma'am,
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
I have
Ma'am,
also some question.
Ma'am, can
Today
I?
and tomorrow it will
एक
PTM in
लाख
our school. It is my first school.
हेलो
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Sarita, tell me.
ओके थैंक यू मैम मेरे क्लास में एक गर्ल चाइल्ड है जो अभी रिसेंट ही आई है 7 years old है बट वो ना तो रिस्पॉन्ड करती है ना वो बोलती है और हाइपर एक्टिव है कुछ भी
तो फिर क्या करती है वो?
समझते भी नहीं है मैम और अभी
करती क्या
1
है?
month
तो
उसको
क्लास
पॉटी
में वो क्या करती है? What she does in the classroom?
हम लोग उसको बिठा के रखते हैं और जैसे कि उसको सीटिंग हैबिट दे रहे हैं तो वो फर्स्ट में अभी
Which
सीटिंग
class
हैबिट
two? She is in class two?
नो मैम से वो 7 years old है और ये थेरेपी सेशन में है
Class three? Which class she is?
नो शी इज नॉट रीडिंग वो पढ़ती नहीं है वो क्लास में भी नहीं है वो 7 years old है उसको प्रॉब्लम बहुत हाई है
नहीं नहीं नहीं, मैं बोल रही हूँ कि she is in a school. She studies in a school.
नो 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 शी इज नॉट स्टडिंग इन अ स्कूल
Why?
because she has a lot of problems she is not speaking not potty trained and
Okay,
hyperactive
then she needs to go for a counseling. Maybe a special educator. She needs to take a therapy for that.
Ma'am,
ma'am
here same question even I am having like now even I am having a one child from past 2 year in my school. She is not speaking, she is not showing any expression, but she is not hurting anyone. In the school, she will come, she will sit in a place. That's it. Never she has
Which
a
class?
smile. Never she is showing expression with the face also. So what is this? She is not active also. She is sitting in a one place, and whole days it will sit in a one
She
place
might have,
only.
मैम
she might
एक्चुअली
be
मैं
autistic.
मैम
She
एक्चुअली
might have some disorders. She might have. So you have to observe the child. Observation is very important. You
Yeah,
cannot
ma'am, we
go.
did that. I have discussed with the parent also. I have called the parent regarding this. They said at home sometimes he talks in a mother tongue, but in the school, like she's a Uriya, but she's not talking in a mother tongue also. I am having a teacher who knows Uriya, but she's not talking in a mother tongue also with them. And there is a
So
no
maybe in
expression
that
at
case, okay, maybe in that case, she needs a counseling or a special educator or a speech therapy need to be done with that particular child. If you are also observing the same thing, other teachers should also observe the same thing. Okay, you cannot come to any conclusion or draw any conclusion from your own perspective. Other teacher also might feel the same thing.
मैम शी इज नॉट
So
रिस्पॉन्डिंग टू
talk with the parent.
हाउ
Again, they can have a session with the special educator or to have a speech therapy or counseling or need to talk with the pediatrician. Or some children, they take time, okay? They take time. There is some delay in speech in some children. So that is also very familiar. It's nothing to get upset. So
Okay, mom.
everything needs to
Okay,
be
Okay,
mom.
ma'am,
tested.
I
Good
have a
evening, mom.
question,
I have
please.
one.
So can we wind up? Any more question?
Ma'am, I
Yes,
have a
ma'am.
question.
Ma'am, one more question, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Can
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Munira.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Ma'am, can you tell me what do you mean by sticking notes on the table?
Sticking notes. Do
So,
you stick notes in your freeze? I
sorry?
need this. I need this vegetable, or my mustard oil is over. So you write in a piece of note in a sticky sticker, and you press it in the fridge door. Do you do that?
Ma'am, can you come again, please? I cannot hear you.
You mute yourself.
Ma'am, I have one doubt.
You mute
Ma'am,
yourself. Mute yourself.
Ma'am,
Munira, this is for you. Munira, I am replying to your query. Others, mute yourself. Munira asked me what is sticking note to that particular ADHD child. So you should carry a note, stickers, sticking note. Chitama, please mute yourself.
Ma'am,
Please mute yourself.
good
Please
evening,
mute
ma'am.
yourself. Mute yourself. Mute yourself.
Ma'am, I have one question.
Please mute
Ma'am,
yourself. Please mute yourself. Please mute yourself.
Please mute yourself.
I'm answering Munira's question. Munira asked me what is
ma'am, one question I have, ma'am.
Please.
Ma'am.
Let me answer Munira's question. I'll come back to you. Munira asked
Okay.
me what is sticking note. Sticking note means please do your task. Okay. So like that, you have to prepare that note and you paste it in the desk of that particular child. Complete your work, paste it. Do not look outside, paste it. So the child will know that he or she is not supposed to look outside, need to complete the task. Okay, so these are called sticking notes, which needs to be pasted or sticked in the desk of that particular kid with ADHD. Yes, Chitema, please come up.
Ma'am, ma'am, we have discussed so much about on offline classes, ma'am. Sometimes we do conduct an online class also. I have a student where I conduct the classes online, and the child is hardly with us for around 45-50 minutes. And in that span of 50 minutes, the child is not able to focus, and the retention power is very low. And we try to be playful with the child so that they can understand what we are trying to say, and we can satisfy the teaching. So like in within 1 hour we cannot complete a required syllabus as we are supposed to do in online teaching. So how we can handle these types of patients when we are in online teaching, ma'am?
In online teaching, what happened to the kid? What did you say? I can't get you actually.
Ma'am, in the online teaching, the child is not able to focus for a longer time. Like after when we start a storytelling,
first of all, it is very natural. There is a difference between an online and offline. Okay, physical appearance, physical attendance is always very interactive, and it works much more effective being online, because after all they are kids. They cannot sit and keep themselves focused in front of the laptop or mobile for a longer period of time. That's what I say. Let them move. Okay, not only for kids with ADHD, but for others also. You can do those who are small and young learners. Give them activity which is very short. Ask quizzes, show and tell. So these are few things which you can help kids to keep themselves engaged or motivated when you are having both online and offline classes. There is no law, there is no rule that needs to be followed. These are all different types of strategies, different types of creativity of your own that you can use. Take 2 minutes break, just as I took. So you can take a break of 2 minutes with your student. So you can just discuss few things, what you had today for dinner. Also, are you going somewhere tonight? So like that, you can have a discussion. Then again, you come back to the topic where you are.
Okay.
All right. Yes.
Ma'am, good evening, ma'am. One question I have, ma'am.
Okay, come.
Ma'am, some children born 7 months or 8 months, ma'am, they are rising up in studies and writing also. When did we ask questions, giving answers immediately? But in the writing, they are not perfectly. How can we maintain the children, ma'am?
What happened? They can answer orally very well, but they have problem in writing.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the issue?
They can't write. They can't get the writing on the line.
Yeah.
Missing the line.
Maybe many children, they have that problem. Many children, they have that problem. The one thing that you will be able to do with them is repetition. Make them write as much as possible. Whatever they read, make them write. Make it a habit. Talk with the parents and to ask them also that they should engage their children more on writing. You also, as a teacher, give some more homework so that you ask the child to write a paragraph, copy from the book.
Okay, ma'am.
Like that, the child will have repetition of writing. The habit of writing in lines in between, it will improve. Because you have to evaluate the child where the problems and strength of the child is.
Daily we are training ma'am, but she can't get the child can't get the line any time, missing the time upside or else down of the
Yeah,
line writing.
that's what I'm saying. It will take time, but when they will practice, no, everything will be fine. Don't worry. Don't be impatient, my dear.
Okay,
Everything will
ma'am.
be
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Someone asked me what is the difference between ADD and ADHD. ADD means attention deficit disorder, only attention deficit disorder. They will not have hyperactive or impulsive behavior. And ADHD means attention deficit as well as hyperactive disorder. They will be very impulsive. They cannot sleep like that. Okay, so they will describe
Yes, ma'am, Akshata.
the difference between ADD and ADHD. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
One more question, ma'am. Ma'am, sometimes the children are so stubborn to write and to listen the lesson also, crying more and more
Which class?
and
Which class?
making noise
You are
more
very
and more.
upset with your students. Which class?
Uh, how can we manage them, ma'am?
Which class, Chittama?
Yes,
Which
yes,
class?
ma'am.
Which class? Your students are?
In third class, ma'am. Third class.
Third
Yes,
standard.
third class only. Third class student.
Third standard.
Yes, ma'am. Third
What they're
standard.
doing? They're not writing.
Not writing, not listening. While teaching the lesson, they are
How
making
many of
noise
them are like
more
that?
and more.
How many of them are like that? How many of the students are like that?
Yes, ma'am. She is good health, also good health, but can't listen.
I think you can't listen me carefully. See, you will have different type of students in the classroom.
Yes, ma'am.
Have different type of students. You have to use different methods of teaching. You have to use different strategies of teaching. So you cannot complain that these are students, I cannot deal with them, they are very hyperactive, they do not write, they do not listen. They will listen, they will write. You have to find out different ways to do that. So if they do not listen what you are saying, show them some videos based on the topic.
Okay.
Okay, show them some videos. Make them, if you want to enhance the listening skill to your student, make them listen something and ask them some question from that particular what you have just make them listen. So it will enhance their listening activity. If you want to enhance the reading skill, make them read aloud in the classroom. If you want to enhance the speaking, make a drama in the classroom, a skit. Let them speak, let them talk. Okay, let them present themselves. All right. If you want to enhance the writing skill, give them different type of writing activities that will help them enhance that particular skill.
Okay, ma'am. Thank
Okay.
you, ma'am.
We'll say goodbye and good night.
Ma'am, I have a
Good
question.
night, ma'am.
Good
Thank
night,
you,
Bye,
ma'am.
ma'am. Thanks so much, ma'am.
ma'am. Thank you,
Thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you so much.
All of you mind up.
Tell me, anyone have any questions, Saranya?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes, ma'am, I have a question, ma'am. Ma'am,
when you tell
give me
about
one
ADHD,
suggestion, please.
What suggestion, Anjali, you need?
Ma'am, may I talk in Hindi?
बताओ.
मैम वो कल हम लोग के स्कूल में पीटीएम है तो वो मतलब कुछ बच्चे को आज दिखाया गया था जैसे कि मैं क्लास टीचर हूँ 3 क्लास की तो वो बच्चे को मैंने दिखाया तो वो क्या किए पेंसिल से मतलब उसको ठीक करके और कह रहे कि मैम आप ये गलत साइन किए हो तो उस तरह से मतलब अगर कल होता है मतलब पेरेंट्स अगर साथ में आते हैं तो मैम कैसे डील करना होगा
गलत साइन मतलब क्या बोलना चाहते हो?
मतलब वो पेंसिल से लिखते हैं बच्चे 3 क्लास में तो वो मतलब रॉन्ग था मैंने उसे कट किया था तो उसको ठीक करते हुए मैंने पकड़ लिया तो मैंने उसे डांटा इस बात के लिए तो वो कह रहा है कि नहीं मैम आप ये गलत की हो हम सही लिखे थे तो वो मतलब आर्गुमेंट करता है मान लो
जी मैम.
The student told you like that?
Yes ma'am.
In which
So
standard?
I am scared that कि मतलब अगर पेरेंट्स के साथ आते हैं तो अगर इस चीज के लिए मतलब बोलेंगे तो मैं कैसे मतलब डील करूँ ये बात मतलब.
The student is in which standard?
Class 3.
See, वो तो बच्ची है. So first of
Yes
all,
ma'am.
this is for each and everyone. Whenever you have parents-teacher meeting, start the meeting always with a positive note. हाँ, आपका बच्चा ये नहीं किया, your student, your daughter is like that, your son is like that, not listening, not behaving properly, not writing, not reading. No parents will feel happy to listen that their children are doing this kind of things. Always start with a good note. आपके बच्चे पढ़ाई में ये कर रहे हैं, he is improving, he is very good in the classroom, he is listening, he is trying his best. So always start with the strength of the child. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि बच्चे को कुछ भी अच्छा नहीं है, बच्चे का कभी तो कहीं तो अच्छा तो होगा. डेफिनेटली द चाइल्ड विल डेफिनेटली हैव सम गुड नोट्स एंड पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड्स. ऑलवेज मेक इट फोकस्ड फर्स्ट, देन कम टू द वीकनेस कि देखिए आपका बच्चा, वी आर टीचर, वी आर हियर टू develop your kid. Okay, they will learn from here. So we'll never want your child to come down or something like that. Definitely we are here to correct him or her in the class. So as I am working as a teacher to take care of your children, I want the same from you, to understand your child, because as a parent you will know your child much more better, and we as a teacher, we are working with your children. So let us work together and we will see the development in that particular child or in our children. So always have PTM like that.
मतलब गार्जियन के साथ मतलब कुछ पॉजिटिव मतलब उसके बारे में बताना मतलब होगा मतलब जिस कोई बच्चे
होगा. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि कुछ भी पॉजिटिव नहीं है. And you
Yes,
cannot
ma'am.
you cannot show the child, no matter. Children, they often speak lies. This is very common. Intentionally nahi karte. They do not create it should not be hue and cry. Children, they might be scared or something like that. But as a teacher, you have to find out how to deal with them. Be very
Yes, ma'am.
Don't be very strict with them. Okay, don't be very strict with them.
मतलब पीटीएम है मेरा, इसलिए थोड़ा सा नर्वस हो जा रही हूँ. पहला पीटीएम है स्कूल वाला.
So nervous being a teacher. If you feel nervous, then what will happen? Huh? Don't do.
Yes, ma'am. I will do my best. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, then good night, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this.
Good night, ma'am. Good night.
Good night.
Ma'am.
Yes, Vinita.
सॉरी मैम, मुझे भी आपके थोड़ा सा टाइम चाहिए, ज्यादा नहीं. एक्चुअली मेरा बेटा है वो ADHD है, तो अभी वो 10 इयर्स का है और अभी 4th स्टैंडर्ड में है.
ओके.
तो अभी उसका हमने स्कूल चेंज किया एक्चुअली.
That is really a big issue. Children, they get accustomed to a new situation. They get accustomed to the previous one, and again they get transferred. They go to some place. They need to form new friendship with new teacher, new environment. It will take time, and for ADHD kids, it will take much time.
या मैम, बट अभी स्कूल तो हमने सब कुछ देख के डाला था. ऑर्किड इंटरनेशनल है, ऐसे काफी फेमस स्कूल है. बट अभी या मैम दिल्ली में जस्ट अभी ओपन ही हुआ है. वो लोग जस्ट अभी मतलब प्रॉपर आई थिंक क्लास में बच्चे भी 15 ही होंगे, ऐसे बहुत ज्यादा बच्चे नहीं है. बट जब इंटरव्यू हुआ था, सब कुछ हुआ था, तो उन्होंने कुछ भी ऐसा नहीं कहा कि कुछ प्रॉब्लम है. और अभी मतलब इतना ज्यादा हाइपर एक्टिव भी नहीं है कि बैठता नहीं. ऐसे घर पे तो प्रॉपरली सारी चीजें अच्छे से करता है. बट वही है, मतलब जितना मैंने भी मतलब अभी तक पढ़ा है कि उनको मतलब कांस्टेंट सपोर्ट की जरूरत रहती है. उसको रहती है, मतलब अगर मैं उसके साथ बैठती हूँ तो वो बहुत अच्छा करता है. बट हाँ, छोड़ देती हूँ तो फिर वो स्टार्ट हो जाता है, मूव करने लग जाता है.
They need your attention. They want that someone should be always with them.
हाँ, तो मैम अभी स्कूल से मतलब 3 टाइम, मतलब अभी स्कूल बच्चे को गए हुए मुश्किल से बीच में 2 मंथ्स का ब्रेक था, और उससे पहले गया था. अभी स्कूल खुले हुए 15 डेज भी नहीं हुए. वो लोग मुझे हर हफ्ते बुला लेते हैं स्कूल में कि बच्चा ऐसा कर रहा है मैम, आज ये किया है, आज वो किया है, और मतलब नहीं, हम नहीं मतलब मैनेज कर सकते आपके बच्चे को. ओनली 15 और 20 बच्चों की स्ट्रेंथ में मैम वो लोग नहीं कर पा रहे हैं मैनेज.
It's a tough situation, no, I cannot go to the school and force them, but it's really that school should take responsibility for that, and even the class teacher also. They should have different methods, different
ma'am.
ways, strategies that need to be followed in the
आई
classroom.
थिंक ओनली क्लास टीचर ही है जो पॉजिटिव बोलती है, मतलब उनसे मतलब मुझे काफी वो मिलती है कि वो कहते हैं मैम मेरी क्लास में कुछ भी नहीं करता है, मेरी क्लास में बैठता है, क्योंकि वो मैम उससे बिजी रखती है, बट बाकी टीचर्स
They need to keep themselves busy, and that is the way you have to find out. Now, if a school cannot handle this, it's really weird.
ये मैम और एंड काउंसलर सीधे सीधे मुझे बोलती है कि नहीं इसका बिहेवियर बहुत खराब है, मतलब हमने बच्चों को किट्स दी तो उसने मतलब सारे बच्चों को दी, उसको नहीं दी क्योंकि वो एब्सेंट था पहले दिन, और सेकंड डे वो आया तो हमने सबको किट दी, उसको नहीं दी तो उसने सारे बच्चों के किट फेंकना स्टार्ट कर दिया। मैंने कहा मैम ये तो नेचुरल है, वो एक बच्चा है वो छोटा, फिर हम उसे मतलब हम वो बड़ा थोड़ी ना है जो वो आपकी बात को समझेगा। तो शी सेड नो नो, उसको तो सुनना चाहिए, उसको तो मतलब बिल्कुल बात माननी चाहिए, अगर हम उसे समझा रहे हैं कि हम आपको कल नहीं दे पाए थे तो उसको हमारी बात सुननी चाहिए। तो
So in
मैम
that case, you cannot go beyond what the school they take the decision. So you can do one thing in that case. As the class teacher is very supportive, that is really positive attitude from her end. You can go for a counseling. Okay, you can go just for a counselor and just have a session with the counselor, and you just try and see if things work out or not.
Okay, okay.
Okay, I think I'll wind up today, and
Okay,
we'll
ma'am.
come up with
Thank
another interesting session next week.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay. Shall we wind up? Okay. Bye. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for joining.
Good night. Good night.
Good night,
Thank you so
ma'am.
much.